guys, I'm Danny and today I have a review for you. But before I get into the review, there's someone I want you guys to meet. This is Penny. Say hi, Penny. So Penny is the other dog of the house. You guys have seen Rosie. Actually, give me a second. And there's Rosie right there. Rosie. There's Rosie. She's gotten bigger since the last time you guys saw her. So today I will be doing a review of Mask of Shadows by Linsey Miller. It's been a while since my last review and this one was pretty good, so I decided to do a review on it. So while I did have a few confusing moments in this book, overall I would definitely give this book a 3.7 star. So really close to a 4-star read. And with this review I'm kind of going to be all over the place because normally I would take notes for books I'm planning to do reviews for so that I can remember what I want to talk about, but I completely forgot with this book. I did not take one note, so I'm kind of going to be all over the place. So first things first, this is definitely a diverse book. This is about a person named Saul Lawrence who is gender fluid. When Saul dresses in a dress and nice and makeup, Saul prefers to be referred to as she. When Saul is dressed a little more masculine, you know, a tunic and pants, then Saul is a he. But if it is not distinguished whether it could be an outfit for a boy or a girl, Saul prefers to be called they. So as I said, Saul is gender fluid, so it is never said in this book whether Saul was born a boy or a girl. So just accept that first off. And so the first thing that drew me to this book is of course the cover. It's absolutely beautiful. I saw the swords and I was like, that definitely looks interesting. And then the tagline, I need to win, they need to die, is the second thing that grabbed me. And the synopsis inside just pretty much sold me. I picked this up, I think earlier this year or late last year, I can't remember which, but the second book is coming out soon, so I wanted to read this before it came out. From this point out I'm pretty much winging it because as I said, I did forget to take notes, so I'm pretty much going to talk about anything that pops in my head, and I am going to try to keep this non-spoilery. So in the very beginning, while Saul is on one of her highway robbing jobs, she robs this noble, and in her purse she finds the flyer for the competition for the left hand, which is the ruling queen's gang of assassins and advisors, and they are all named out of the 4 rings she wears on her left hand: opal, ruby, amethyst, and emerald. So as I said, Saul is gender fluid, so Saul is neither a girl or a boy, depending on the day, depends on what Saul says Saul's gender is. Though of course everyone in this world, especially in the competition, wears masks, so the clothing is pretty much the only thing you have to tell whether someone is a he or she. As I said, Saul enters into this competition to be part of the left hand, and there are 4 of them. They are the queen's advisors and assassins. So there is Opal, which is what Saul's entering the competition to try to become. There's Opal, Amethyst, Ruby, and Emerald. And when they enter into this competition, they are completely deprived of their names. I wasn't quite sure if this was so that other people or the other assassins wouldn't get attached to each other, you know, like with like sociopaths and serial killers. If you use the person's name more often, they see them as a person and it makes them harder to kill, or if it was just like some way of stripping them of their identity or something. I'm not quite sure. Going into this book, when I heard the synopsis, I kind of started thinking of Throne of Glass, you know, competition for assassins, and this is definitely more of what I was thinking I would get when I entered the Throne of Glass series. And so this was more of what I expected. These, in the first round, and I think there was like 4 different rounds. The first round was the competitors were allowed to kill each other in all sorts of different ways, but there were rules to this. One of them being that they could not be caught, they could not leave any evidence behind, and there was another one. Oh, and they could not harm any of the servants or occupants of the castle. Otherwise they would be disqualified and or killed. This world was definitely easy to follow. It is a fantasy, but it was different than other fantasies. Other fantasies, there's always some sort of magic, even if it's not used by everyone, which in this one it was similar. Like, there are mages in this world, but they no longer have their magic because of the woman who is now queen. She is the mage who obliterated magic, and in doing so got rid of these monster things that the mages created called shadows that would literally like skin people alive to wear their skins. And it just sounds absolutely horrible. You can tell who were mages because they have these runes drawn or tattooed all over themselves, mostly on their arms. And the people who were the mages, instead of them being like black now, they're more like a faded gray. So as I said, this is a diverse book, but not only because Saul is gender fluid, but because we don't know whether Saul is a girl or a guy. Saul is also in a somewhat flirty romantic relationship with Elise, and she is the daughter of a duke or lord. So as I said, it's never said whether or not Saul is born a boy or a girl, because Saul is gender fluid. So one sentence Saul will be a he, next Saul will be a she, 100 pages later Saul will be a they. So it's unknown. And I know Saul does get very annoyed when people mess this up, because it'll be like this one soldier who was in the competition called her she, and Saul's like, I'm dressed like you, I am a he. And if you can't call me that, just call me they. Just get it over with, okay? Of course, this person purposely keeps annoying Saul by messing up Saul's gender. One thing in the beginning of the book that was hard, as I said, these people are pretty much stripped of their identities, well, their names at least. And so it was hard with 23 of these competitors to figure out, okay, was this the person who did this, or was it that person, or who was it? So when there was 23 of them, it was very hard. But as this book goes along, those numbers start dwindling. So it does become easier as time goes along to figure out, okay, who did this, who did that, especially once they get to the top 10 and especially the top 5. Once the numbers started dwindling down, it was a lot easier. But I know there was one review I watched where they said they could not tell who anyone was. And at the beginning, it was a little difficult, as I said. But pretty soon, I pretty much learned it, especially with, I listened to the audiobook for this. So with the narrators voicing certain characters, it was easier to tell. And you don't interact with all the characters, because as I said, as soon as they enter this competition, they are allowed to start killing each other. And so, as the numbers start dwindling, it becomes easier to tell them apart. One thing I was definitely glad about is, as I said, Saul was raised as a thief. And with the synopsis, I don't know why, originally I thought she was like from a family of thieves, but it's not a family at all. She just like worked for this guy who kind of like was like the criminal overlord of this city. And it was either work for him, starve, or be possibly killed. As I said, Saul, being raised for a thief, Saul was definitely very smart. Like me, I probably would have just like shoved a trunk or something against the door, you know, to like barricade it to make sure people couldn't sneak into my room in the middle of the night. But she hung bells, got rats to eat her food so that she could make sure she wasn't going to be poisoned, tested her bath water every night to make sure she wouldn't be poisoned by that either. She did all sorts of, and nailed her bedroom door shut every night so that no one could get in. And it actually came in handy, especially the first night. I don't think anyone tried after that, but she was definitely very smart, and she didn't get attached to the characters. I was worried that she might befriend some of the other assassins and end up either hesitating or not being able to kill them when the time came, and none of that happened. And so while they're in this competition, they are also put through these classes. The other 3 members of the hand offer the contestants these classes. So like they say, we're going to give you these classes, but if you think you're already good in these things, then you don't have to take them, but we recommend that you do. They went through poisons, medicine, physical training, weapons, etiquette, and basic classes, which is for Saul was reading, because Saul, while she could speak 3 different languages, I believe, she could not read or write like the main language of the people of the queen that she was supposed to be trying out for the hand for. So she definitely did take that class. because like I said, she could speak it but she couldn't read it, and if she's out on an assignment and she gets a note, she can't exactly have someone else read it for her. And I definitely recommend it if you're looking for a good Assassins book, and this is only a duology, and the second book comes out this year, so I believe it's August of this year. I'm not sure about that though. I would definitely recommend this. It was quick and easy read. The world was easy to follow, but it did keep your mind working, trying to figure out, you know, like if this person died, who do you think might have done it? And I'm not sure if I said it or not, but there is a female on female or female on male, depending on Saul's mood, romance in this book, and I definitely did like her. So I am sorry if I was all over the place for this, but as I said, I didn't take notes like I would normally do, and I gave this book a 3.7 stars, but of course on Goodreads I rated it 4 stars. Well, I'll see you guys next time. Bye!